Well, I mean, that's all I got to say.
And
I just wanted the world to know that if you want a burrito, guess what? Order a burrito. Welcome to the Squad Life Podcast. My name is Camper. This is our 5th episode. Pretty big milestone for us as a new podcast. We understand that a lot of other podcasts out there have a few more episodes than us, but we're happy to hit our 5th podcast so far. If you've been listening this whole time, thank you so much. If this is your first episode, we want to plug in the previous episodes as well. Go check us out, get accustomed to who we are and what it is that we have to say. My name is Camper. You can find me on Twitter at CamperKober, that's CamperKober, via the interwebs, but normally to my left.
yeah, that's me, Cody Lewis here. And actually not here, but there, I guess I could say. But yeah, so you can find me on Facebook at just Cody Lewis, and then on Instagram at Cody_AA_Ron. And I do just want to say I'm sorry if I sound congested. It's because I am. Just bear with me. We'll get through this together. And then virtually to my left is...
What's up, Squadians of the Round Table? It's Brandon Ward here. You can follow me on Twitter at Brandon_Ward13, or you can follow me on the Facebook.
And if you've been listening to us for the 5 episodes that we have been doing this, obviously he wasn't here last week, and he's missing this week as well. But of course, we're missing our, I don't want to call him our 4th member, our co-member, or the co-founder of the Squad Life Podcast, of course, is the infamous Spicy White. He is, in fact, on his way back from his family trip to Washington, D.C., with his parents and his fiance. So I know he's missing being with us for the 2nd straight week. Tune in next week and experience the legendary Spicy White. He'll be ready to go with some good content.
And yes, if you are asking yourself, has it been 2 weeks of him being out of town? You're correct. He has taken a 2-week vacation.
Yes. In fact, I think it's just an unfortunate, like a 9-day vacation. It just happened to hit 2 of our recording days. So I don't think it was a full 2 weeks, but to us it seems like 2 weeks. But tell me, guys, how has your week been?
Well, as if you have been following this podcast, as most of you could probably guess, this was my first week at PT school. So it's been good so far. A lot of information. It's just a summer semester, so the months of, the end of May, June, and July. So, I mean, we're cramming a lot of information into a short amount of time. But it's been pretty interesting so far. And today, which is, of course, Friday, at the time of this recording, was our first cadaver lab. And for those of you who may not heard that word before, a cadaver is obviously a human body that's not living anymore. But we started cutting on people today, and so that, I don't know, stay tuned. I'm sure I'll have more updates of that. But like I said, other than that, this week has been pretty cool.
So you're 1 week in, and you are already cutting up a preserved human body?
Yeah, that's right. Like I said,
what in the world?
It's that's anatomy for you, man. I mean, we're moving quick.
I have a question.
Wait, okay. Go ahead, Brandon.
How does one sign up to be a cadaver? I just need to know so I never go anywhere near wherever you would do that.
But no, man, I've wondered the same thing. Like, throughout this whole process, I've thought to myself, how do you sign up to be a cadaver? Like, how do you donate your body to science? And I don't have the answer for that.
I'm an organ donor. If that has anything to do with it, let me know so I can get myself off the list.
Well, as soon as I've thought about asking, and when I ask, I will let you know, and I will let all of you know out there in the podcast universe, because it may be something you want to do, it may be something you don't want to do, but yeah, as soon as I find out, I'll let all of you know.
Little did you know when you signed up to be an organ donor, Brandon, that you signed up to donate all of your organs.
Right, right.
No. You made me squeak. I haven't squeaked since I was hit puberty, and you just made me squeak.
Cody, where do you go from here? I mean, you just cadavered your way through a human body on your first week. Where does it go from here?
Well, we will literally and metaphorically go deeper in. Today we basically dissected the back of the cadaver. We just kind of peeled off the skin of the back, and we were looking for all of my anatomy nerds out there. We were looking for the superficial muscles of the back, which include the trapezius and the latissimus dorsi. And
sound like dinosaurs.
Yeah. Basically, but not horses. But no, we did that today, and I believe next week we will try to go for the deeper muscles of the back, which after I look at my notes, I'll be able to tell you what those are.
Well, cool. Brandon, how about you?
Well, this week's been it's had some good and some bad moments to it. Like Cody was saying, he moved in this past weekend, and we helped him with that, including you, Camper. I got a cut in my mouth this past week, which is making talking very painful, so bear with me on that too. I had a bad migraine yesterday, which kind of took me out almost the whole day. But I did catch up with some friends that I haven't talked to in a while at a coffee shop, or if you're Donald Trump, coffee. But I really enjoyed getting to catch up with some old friends. So it's been overall, despite the minor setbacks, it's been a good week.
But yeah, let me just, and I did forget to mention that, but thank you, Brandon, and thank you, Camper, for helping me move in. I'm sorry, I just forgot that shout out, but I appreciate everything y'all did for me.
It was worth it unless we got sick.
Well, I hope y'all don't. Y'all haven't so far, so you should be in good shape.
Okay. Well, it definitely was worth it. Just to be able to see your new puppy. I was trying to figure out a plan on how I could take it without you noticing, but she is literally the cutest thing I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, well, thank you much.
Boy, this week has been one for the books. It's been pretty eventful. For those that know me, know that I do reside in Meridian, Mississippi, but that is not my hometown. I actually grew up in Montana, or as we frequently refer to as Canada Junior, because it is literally the closest thing to Canada that Americans can encounter. But I grew up here the first 18 years of my life. My dad and my stepmom and my two brothers are up here. I got a number of different aunts and uncles. But boy, I love coming up here in the summertime. I flew out on Tuesday. Normally it's just a one-day trip. It takes up the whole day. I didn't fly out of Jackson until 3:40 though. Like I almost had a whole day before I started flying, and then you get into the longest part of your day. But for those that have tried to fit in 3 flights in one day, know that that's hectic enough. But to start at 3:30 in the evening, or I guess the late afternoon, knows that could be. You're not going to have a whole lot of layovers if you're trying to get in there that night. So I was kind of crammed for time. There was a few delays, and one thing led to another. I wasn't able to make my connecting flight from Salt Lake City to Butte, Montana, my hometown, and so Delta, of course, figured that it would be better to go ahead and let that plane fly to Butte because, Butte is so important, instead of waiting for 10 minutes for me to reach my connecting flight. And they were willing to put me in a hotel room and provide me with a shuttle transportation to the hotel and back to the airport. And Go ahead.
It was a pretty nice hotel room too, because you had like a nice fireplace going there.
Oh, that was not in my room. That was in the lobby.
Okay, well, you are very deceitful, my friend.
Yeah, right. I was under the impression that was in your room also. So shame on you, Camper.
That would have been amazing. But yeah, so finally got up here. What is today? Friday. Got up here Wednesday afternoon. Easy flight. Got to see my family again. Have enjoyed playing basketball, hitting a few golf balls, working out with my dad. Just kind of spending some quality family time with some great people that I haven't seen in a few months. So my week's been fun, kind of stressful, and I'm definitely worn out after the first week, or the first 3 days even. So I'll be up here until the middle of July. So at least on my end, I'll be connecting to you guys remotely, traversing the huge distance between Mississippi and Montana. I'm looking forward to the day where we can finally be in the same room together, though.
Right. Me too.
For now, the makeshift pictures that I've made for you guys, they'll do. All right, I needed something to encapsulate where y'all were,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have an object for each one of y'all to, just
What are those objects?
for Jake, for Spicy, I got a cowbell, which that goes perfect.
Mm-hmm.
For Cody, I have a magnifying glass because, when you think of Cody Lewis, you kind of think of him as being intelligent, and I always just, associate intelligence with a magnifying glass for some reason. I blame Sherlock Holmes.
That's generally what you find on a nerd. Usually is a magnifying glass. At least in cartoons for some reason.
Well, it fits. And for Camper, I've got a rock.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's in Canada, and I'm really getting them mixed up now.
Montana.
He's in Montana.
Right.
He's in Montana, and Montana is known for having rocks.
Yeah, we have
Just-
quite a few rocks.
Well, the big rocks, the mountains.
I'll have to show you guys some pictures of some of the rocks we have here. But anyway, look at us getting all excited about rocks, or probably just me.
I collect rocks.
That's been our week. For those of you that may not know much about Spicy White, we'd mentioned that he actually went to Washington, D.C. this Memorial Day with his family and his fiance, and we actually found out while he was on the trip, or while he was going up there, that it just clicked in my head, and I asked him, I said, Spicy, is this the first time that you will be crossing the Mason-Dixon line? And he said, yeah, actually, this will be the farthest north I've ever been. And of course, I said to myself, of course, Spicy, the person that we all know is probably the most patriotic of the four of us, he would go above the Mason-Dixon line for the first time to the most patriotic place out, or north of the Mason-Dixon line. Of course, on Memorial Day, where they celebrated being patriotic as well. So, if you know Spicy, then you know that is just, of course, it happened that way. But yeah, he's coming back. He'll be with us next week. As far as this week's go, I'm pretty excited about our lineup tonight, or if you're listening to this in the morning. But Brandon, you have the first topic.
I do. It's kind of a strange topic, so just bear with me. I kind of came across it earlier this week. It's a study that is on the topic of secrets. There was a study this was actually published by the Scientific American, which, I don't really know what that is, but it sounds fancy, and it sounds like it's something that smart people would read. There was a psychologist, Michael, not going to pronounce his last name. We'll be sure to somehow put this article where you can read it so you can get the last name. But he is at the Columbia Business School, and they basically did a study on how people keep secrets, what kind of secrets they keep, what do they do with the secrets, just all kind of stuff like that. And they found in this study, by asking people secrets, and I guess it was confidential, it'd have to be for me to even participate in this, but they had to tell their secrets to the people who were conducting the study, and they found that on average, the average person has up to 13 secrets, including 5, on average about 5, that they are keeping from everybody. So of the 13 secrets that, on average, that they're keeping from people, 5 nobody knows except for that person. The most common secrets were extra relational, which, yeah, you could kind of, I guess, associate secrets with that.
They having affairs.
Yeah, they doing wrong. But basically, they have a graph too that really breaks down the top 10 categories of the things we keep secret, and they color code it between secrets from everyone, secrets from some people, secrets once but not anymore, and never kept secret. And I'll tell you right now, the never kept secret is barely there. The secret from everyone is really thick, and the secret from some people is really, there's a lot that have done that. The secrets go from thoughts of cheating, theft, ambitions or goals, family details, financial troubles, flirting, violation of somebody's trust. So it just kind of goes all across the board. But the main thing that the study pulls is that there are these 13 secrets that each person has. There are about 1,000 participants were asked to describe the secrets. There were 34 categories of what those people had listed out to be their secrets. Just in more detail, there were people that had secrets of harming another person, theft, self-harm, trauma, work cheating, just a lot of really weird stuff. But then they get a little bit funny too. One of the categories is unusual behavior. One is a hobby. Like I guess I can kind of see keeping a hobby a secret if it's like, I really don't, because I'm a nerd and everybody knows, what my really just stupid hobbies are, but just different stuff. So my question to you guys, and I actually approached Spicy White earlier to get him in on this, just to kind of spread the topic out some. Are there any secrets that you have never shared with anybody, or if you don't have any of those, which if you say you don't, you're a liar, because the study says the average person has 5. But if you don't want to share one of those, what is one thing that nobody else at this round table knows about you, just to help take some of those 13 secrets off your shoulders, make you feel better about yourself? I like I said, I approached Spicy White. I texted him while they were on their way back and asked him what his secret was. If you know Spicy White, you will not be surprised that his secret is this lame. It's still funny, though. I asked him, I said, just tell us one secret, and his response was, I don't know how shocking this is, but I don't think I've ever drank, and I'm word for word, I don't think I've ever drank a whole bottle of water in a day.
What?
So this man has...
Are you kidding me?
He's very patriotic, but he doesn't care about our environment, obviously, because he's just chugging half bottles of water and not finishing them. He says he's never finished an entire bottle of water in a day.
What in the world? Who is this man?
So what is he? Is the only thing he drinks literally sweet tea?
I've seen him with a bottle of water.
He drinks a lot of, like, if he buys a bottle, it's usually like Powerade or something. Blue Powerade. That's
okay.
It. Yeah.
We need to tell this man to
Still,
put
though,
more
what?
water in his diet.
I'm trying to think about
He's
this.
probably severely dehydrated all the time.
How do you not drink a whole bottle of water, like, ever? Is that his mission? Like, he just... I in my mind, I don't feel like you can just accidentally do that.
I can just picture his vehicle right now having a bunch of empty bottles. I mean, not empty, but half empty bottles of water. Like, I can just see them, like, you open the door and they just fall out. I know Spicy, and I know he takes care of his truck, so it's not like that. But when he tells me that, I just picture that.
Well, hey, fun fact. Jackson water has lead in it, so I go through about 2 or 3 bottles of water a day.
And I don't like tap water ever, so I drink bottled waters all the time.
Wow, that is... But I can see that about Spicy, though.
So while Camper's thinking, Cody, do you have a secret that you've never told anybody or just the guys at the group?
Brandon, in fact, I think I have a pretty big secret, but then also I'm gonna start it off with a small secret, like a guilty pleasure. I do like to read books recreationally. I haven't had much time to do that recently because school started, but I'm going through the Harry Potter books right now,
Yeah.
and they've been really really fun. I think I'm on the fifth one, which Camper, you may have to help me out because I know you said that you've read them. The fifth one is
The Order of the Phoenix.
the Order of the Phoenix. Yes, that's right. I'm probably 2 or 3 chapters into that. And for those of you who have read the Harry Potter books, you know that that's not very far in the Order of the Phoenix. That's probably literally 1/100th of the book.
I have a suggestion for you.
What's that?
Why don't you just watch the movie? Like, I'm one of the guys.
Oh my.
I'm one of the
Oh
guys
my gosh.
that when there was the AR tests in school, I would just watch the movie and take the test and pass the test. Like, I don't do books like that. Like, I'll read,
This-
but like I don't enjoy
This isn't a
it.
test. Okay.
Yeah.
Number one. Number one, Brandon. How long is each Harry Potter movie? Cody, do you know? Like maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours?
Yeah, something like that. Maybe the last few being a little longer because they're trying to cram everything in.
Yeah, so just the fact that they're trying to cram everything in, you don't get the experience that you get from reading a book by watching the movie.
I
And
thoroughly enjoy the movies though. Like,
me too. I like the books.
well, I'll let y'all read the
Well,
books,
plus-
and I'll just watch the movie.
Plus, if this is just from the creative side of me, the movie I feel is the author's.
it's the directive vision.
It is the director's interpretation of the book that is approved by the author. The book itself is 100% the author.
Yes.
So,
I will
just by
say
that
that
fact,
I'll give you a nod, and I will admit that maybe sometimes movies are not as good as the books, but that's not an every. Like, some people say it's every time, but there have been plenty of movies that I've seen that the movies were better than the books.
I don't know if I agree with that.
yeah.
But one thing I do want to say about the Harry Potter books versus the movies, just like y'all have pointed out, I've enjoyed the movies, I've enjoyed the books. But one thing that I wish I would have seen in the movies, now that I've read a few of the books, is that, in the first few books, but we get introduced to a ghost named Peeves, and he causes a lot of trouble for Harry and a bunch of the other students. I wish I would have seen that in the movies. But okay, so that was my teaser secret, and I literally have not told this next one to many people at all, I don't think. Brandon, you like to dog on me and Camper for being single, and I've grown accustomed to that. I think it's funny, but I'm just gonna go and say it. I've never kissed a girl,
There's nothing bad about that.
but it is something.
Especially,
that I haven't really-
if I appreciate that. Like, especially when you find the girl who will be your wife, that'll be more special.
Okay, well, thank you for not making me feel bad about that. That really, in all seriousness. But, in high school, that was one of the things that kind of made you a quote-unquote man or not, I mean, how many girls you've kissed and stuff like that. So I always felt kind of insignificant in high school. But those are the two that I've got.
All right, Camp. You got anything?
I can't think of anything that is like a complete secret of mine that I want to share, but something that you two may not know and Spicy may not know is I've been involved in, let's see, 2 collisions with my car, both of which happened up here in Montana. One was very minor. I mean, it just happened. It took place, no damage, and I made sure I had both my brothers in the car, so I had to call my dad, and even though there was no damage, and because I called my dad, then I had to call the police just to make sure that everything was squared away, and the drivers of the other car, the one driver and then her friends, they were actually in high school too. So, but let's see, the second one was a little bit more serious. It cost our insurance company $3,000 to repair the car that I ran into.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
The thing about, Montana is in the wintertime, the roads are a little bit slippery. So I hit a curve and hit a patch of ice, and that was that. It led to me smashing into an '08 Audi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the front end of it too. So I think there was some stuff underneath the hood that had to be fixed. But yeah, that was fun. I consider myself a safe driver now, but back then,
Well, that's good.
Just unfortunate.
How mad was the owner of that Audi?
Obviously, they felt a little inconvenienced, but no anger. I was
Because he's
more
like,
angry at
he's gonna
myself.
pay for you. You're gonna pay for this, sucker. That's what he was thinking. You're gonna pay for this.
Yeah, obviously. And I actually think it was, it might have been a man's car, but the woman answered the door and handled dealing with the police and my dad. But actually, there was very little damage done to my car because I drove a '97 Dodge Intrepid, I think. I think it was an Intrepid. But those things are not made out of plastic, so very little
No, they're
damage. I
not.
think I had my headlight was a little loose, so not that a little duct tape won't fix, but yeah, I don't know if you guys knew that about me.
Wow.
I had
Okay,
nothing since then. Oh, something else you don't know that I'll mention. I was actually thinking about this today. Since I'm in my hometown and I did play hockey for 13 years, it was a big part of my life, my childhood growing up. We actually went to the ice rink. There's no ice there because it's June. But we went to the ice rink to go pick up a few things, and I went there and I saw the banner of my high school team winning the state championship my senior year. That's not the secret. I think you guys knew that already. But I actually got kicked out of my senior night game in the first period. And that was the only time that my grandfather, he I think he went and saw a few games, but he hated going to hockey games. He was there that night because it was my senior night. And I hit a guy into the boards, and I deserved to be thrown out, I think. But yeah, I was thrown out of my senior night game in the first period.
Wow.
That a boy. Well, Brandon, before we move on, did you have secrets that you wanted to share?
Yeah,
Or-
I did. I do have a secret. I'll start by saying, Cody, I really think yours are valid. Camper, I think you need to work on what a secret is. But to your defense, we did not know what you shared, but I'm going to actually let y'all in on a secret. Cody may know a little bit of this, but he does not know it all. As y'all know, I love Batman. My nickname is Batman. Anybody around the table will call me Batman. But it has not always been that way. In fact, when I was a kid, I did not like Batman.
What?
Wow.
Yeah. My favorite superhero was The Flash. And before y'all jump on me, I'd liked The Flash before there was a TV show, before y'all read the comics and saw all this cool stuff, back when he was just basic Flash. That was my favorite superhero. I watched Justice League, and I was like, I really like Wally West. He is my hero. And you may ask yourself, well, why do you call yourself Batman, and why do you like Batman now? And the answer to that was it was a name that was given to me by my father. It all started back when my parents got divorced and I would go stay with my dad. He had a different movie for me to watch each and every time that I would visit him, which is a little backstory of why I love movies so much. But anyway, we did a whole weekend watching the old Batman movies, and it was just this random thing that he just started doing. He just started calling me Batman, and that Christmas he got me all this Batman stuff, and I more or less became a fan of Batman, probably 10 or 11, but that's really where I got it from. It wasn't a name that I chose, but I will say this: I'm very glad that my dad called me that and pushed me that direction, because I've appreciated the character of Batman and his backstory and just the uniqueness of his character. The more I look at him the more I relate to him. And another little thing, when my dad passed away in 2012, to his funeral, I wore a Batman shirt under my suit, just to kind of give him a tribute, a nod to that. So, and that is why that whenever I come across somebody new that I know, I give them a superhero name, because it all started with my dad giving me a superhero name, and I just saw how I connected to that character and really just picked up that persona. And that's why everybody I meet, I give them a name, and that's why, that's just the kind of the story. So I've not always been a Batman fan. I am glad that I am one. I am glad that is who I'm associated with. But that's the secret I have there.
Okay.
Well, that's pretty cool.
I did not know that.
So do you feel a little bit lighter, Cody, because not Camper, but Cody, for telling, a secret or two?
But yeah, I do actually feel a little lighter just getting that out there. And hopefully,
I will say this, though, Camper.
Hopefully people won't troll me too bad, but, whatever.
Camper, I cannot, I take it back, because I do kind of see the second one being a secret. I'm just thinking in my head right now, and I just cannot picture you being thrown out of a hockey game. But I can at the same time. Because I see how emotional you get about stuff like horses or, just people not conforming to, what you're trying to say or, see your point. But, I just wish there was tape, like a recording that I could see of you getting thrown out of a game.
Yeah, I would like to see that also.
Yeah. There's no such recording to my knowledge. It only happened that one time, so the only time I got ejected from a game was during the senior night. But I wasn't a fast guy. I'm a rather large person. So, I mean, if you don't have speed, then you got to be able to check the guys who have speed. And when they have the puck, hit them into the boards. And that was just an unfortunate time where I hit him a little too hard, and he fell a little awkwardly, and the ref determined that I shouldn't be allowed to play the rest of the game. So, yeah, it was just kind of weird. However, I was not given much time to prepare that at all. I might have come up with a better one. I went the route, stuff that you may not know about me, not necessarily the secrets that you know about me. I don't know if I probably have 13. I'd have to dig pretty deep, though.
I agree. There's not a whole lot of secrets that I would say that I have that nobody knows either.
It might just be my personality, but if I resolve not to tell anybody something, it's not on my mind 24/7. I bury that thing. I sweep it under the biggest rug, and I forget about it.
Me too.
However, just so, Cody, that you know, and we can relate on some level, I have kissed probably just shy of 1 million girls. That's a lie. I actually am in the same boat as you, and on your secret, and I'm still waiting for my first. So want to set the record straight, because some people do know that about me, and they'll listen to this and they'll say, hey, he actually does have a secret. Let me tell you it. So let me set the record straight, and I'll tell you myself.
The deal is from episode 1 is still here. You buy one, have a friend get the other one. It's not buy one get one free. but like I said, I do find that respectable, and that is respectable. And although I have had a trillion kisses, it's mostly been with the same woman. So there we go.
See, that's what I'm looking
that
for.
Is right, and that is also respectable. So good for you, Brandon.
All right, that's all I've got.
Yeah, so thank you, Brandon, for that first topic. Very revealing topic. Things I didn't want to discuss at all. But anyway.
You're welcome.
The second topic that we have actually today is something that I find very interesting. You'll kind of learn more about us the more shows that we do, obviously. And you'll see that something that I've noticed is, people like Cody or even Brandon, they'll do a lot of research. They may even pull out an article to find a topic, and they'll read some of the articles, some of the statistics, and then they'll open it up. I don't think Jake is someone who will do that. He's not the person who cares a whole lot about statistics unless it's a batting average or completion percentage or whatever. But this topic doesn't have an article with it. I did do some research, but this is very opinionated. So I'm going to read this really quick, and Cody, Brandon, I want you guys to interject at certain points in this. And for those of you listening, I would love it if you guys interjected and told me some of your opinions as well. But our second topic today, the one I'm bringing to the table. So the question that I have today is, does hip hop deserve more credit in today's culture? And it's a growing art, hip hop. If you're familiar with it, some of you listening probably big fans of hip hop. I'm in that group. Some of you, I acknowledge that you may not be, and we're gonna kind of discuss some reasons why you're not a fan. If you want to interject, go ahead and shout us out on Twitter or something. But I'm going to make my case as to why hip hop is actually one of the greatest forms of music. And Cody and Brandon, you might actually disagree with me. You might agree with me. I'm not sure. As far as hip hop itself, it's been around for 30, maybe 40 years. It really got popular in the late 80s, the early 90s, though. Hip hop comes in many different forms. You can go back and listen to the rap in the 90s. You can also listen to the 2000s, the early 2010s, and then even that of today in 2017. And you will see a stark contrast in the music that you'll hear that we fit under one genre of hip hop. Hip hop is a form of, I would say it's a form of art. It's a way of one expressing him or herself. I relate it a lot to poetry, and you'll see a little bit later why. However, I think it exceeds poetry in the sense that it brings a lot more to the table. Some different forms of hip hop. There's a lot of different ways you can approach the genre. Some popular methods include freestyling. It's just a common term if you're not familiar with it. It's people who rap off of the top of their head, just making up the lines as they go. It's kind of a broad topic there, but that's what they call freestyling. There's also battle rap, where it's one person versus another. Generally, there's 3 rounds, and they each present a verse back and forth, and it's usually in slight of the other person, trying to take them down, elevate their skill, and to get the audience involved. And then there's the classic hip-hop that we all know that makes it similar to all of the other genres, where a recording artist will write and record their verses, make their beats, the production with the music behind the scenes. That'll all happen in the studio. They'll record an album or a mixtape, and then they'll release it to the public. I might be missing 1 or 2 forms there, but those are the forms that are just coming to me now. But I've got a list of 4 characteristics of hip-hop, or 4 things that I feel like are unique to hip-hop, or something that hip-hop does well, that really elevate it above the cultural standard that we put it at. Before I do that, Brandon, Cody, what do you think quickly are some of the reasons why hip-hop is not socially acceptable in the general sense? Why is it kind of shunned in culture? Or do you even agree with that statement?
Well, prior to you bringing that up, I really didn't think it was shunned or culturally unacceptable. But I have heard people in the past say that, they don't like hip hop, they don't like rap because they can't understand what the artist is saying, whether that be due to the fact that the artist is rapping fast, or maybe the beat is too loud, too strong. I'm not sure. So I don't know if I could answer that honestly. I will say that, I am a fan of hip hop and rap. Actually a fan of all music. But as far as why it may be culturally unacceptable, wow, I am struggling with that word. I don't know. So I may have to just kind of pass on that one.
What about you, Brandon?
Well, I'm going to piggyback off a little bit of what Cody said. I do love hip-hop. I will make that known, as do I love every type of music in their own way. I will say that there is what I believe, and I may be wrong, but why I believe that hip-hop is a little bit less appreciated, or not as acceptable as other forms of music, is some of the content that a lot of hip-hop has been stereotyped with.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of people, when you ask them, do you listen to hip-hop, they they would say something, or at least the people I've talked to say something like, well, I don't want to listen to that. It's just a bunch of cursing or, just talking about sex and drugs but the thing about it is, to me, and what I would say back to them is it's so much deeper than that. There's a lot. I mean, I'm not really attracted to that type of hip hop unless it's crucial to the story being told, which that's what I associate hip hop with. Is at least my favorite types of hip hop are the storytelling and that kind of thing.
Right.
Well, and if I can add something real quick, I bet you some of those same people that tell you that are people who listen to some country music that has some of the same content.
Or pop too.
Yeah, or pop. Both of those genres will contain, stories about going out with buddies and getting drunk, and then having one night stands, stuff like that.
And I agree, but I'm also going to give some of those people the benefit of the doubt too, that they may solely just listen to cleaner types, or in their minds, cleaner types of music that don't have any of that. So
right,
I definitely
think
that there are. Yeah, I think there's a split. I definitely
and that's
don't
why
think
I say
you can
some of
point
those
out
people.
some flaws of hip hop and then go jump on some old classic rock and say there's nothing different. I mean, there's something different, because they're
right.
They're the same essentially. That's just my take.
I got you. The few things that I thought of earlier when I was kind of putting this together, something that you guys mentioned just previously is that, hip hop historically and I guess majorly contained crude language and crude content. It wasn't just the cursing. You could still download the quote-unquote clean version, but you're still introduced to the types of ideas and the themes and, the artist's motives, which may or may not have been suitable for children. And, that is a fair concern. It's something that I will never argue against. I do think that there are artists out there who strive to make content that may not be geared towards children, but it is acceptable for children to listen to, and I very well respect those artists. But I do accept the fact that most of the well-known artists, and even most artists in general, don't take that approach. Something else I thought of is that it may be a generational thing. This isn't all-inclusive, but if you look at the fan base of hip-hop itself, you're going to find that most of that fan base is typically younger in age. And while there are exceptions to that, I see that it attracts younger people. It's just the nature of it. And then something else I wrote down is that, people just have different tastes. Brandon mentioned classic rock, and we mentioned hip-hop and country music. I know Spicy White, if he would interject now, he would say that he loves listening to country music, although he does enjoy hip-hop. And I've jammed out with him to some good hip-hop songs in his truck many times. So I know he's a fan, but I think if he would listen to one genre for the rest of his life, I think he'd pick country. But those are just some things that I wanted to open up by saying that I understand that hip-hop isn't liked by everybody. And for those who have their reasons of not liking it, whether it be, because they are trying to reject the content or the themes that the artists are promoting, or whether they just don't like it, I accept that and I understand where they're coming from. Moving on, I do want to make my case as to why I like it and why I think it is truly one of the best genres out there. And in doing so, it actually covers some things that you guys already hit on. The first thing is the first characteristic that makes hip-hop great, in my opinion, is the creative wordplay. And, what do I mean by wordplay? For those of you that listen to hip-hop, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But wordplay, in my definition, is what an artist can do with their words. And that's a very basic definition. But something else that I have written underneath this point is simply an artist communicating as much as possible with as few words as possible. Typically, a rap song or a verse in a rap song will have 16 lines, and in my opinion, the best songs out there say the most in that 16 lines. With that, artists are creating ways to write one line that means two completely different things. We're going to go over some examples of that here in a second, but they call that double, triple, or even quadruple entendres, saying one sentence or one line but being interpreted in 2, 3, or even 4 different ways. And to me, that takes creativity, that creates intent on the artist's part. The artist is sitting down and they're writing their lines and they're putting a lot of thought into it, and that's before they ever produce, record, or deliver their songs. But that's the first thing that makes hip-hop great, in my opinion, is the creative wordplay. Second thing is the artist's elaborate rhyme schemes. This is something that I feel that you don't really get in pop, you don't really get in country music, you don't really get in classic rock or maybe any other genre. You may see it, the most comparable thing to this is poetry. Like I said earlier, you may see it in poetry more. But not only will the artist toy with what they're saying with their words, but they'll toy with how they're saying it. So when they're writing down their lines, they're not just going to write a line and say it ends with the word say. When they write their next line, it is actually very basic to write your line completely different, even if it's in the same amount of syllables, and then just finish it with a word that rhymes with say, right? So let's just say that one ends in play. In fact, I think some of the greatest artists create multiple rhymes within their lines. So they'll find a word that they'll start rhyming, or they'll come up with a rhyme scheme in the middle of that line, and then they'll also do it at the end, right? So that adds a little bit of depth to the song. So they're creating 2 different rhyme schemes as well, and then they'll change it up throughout the course of the verse and the song. Third thing, quickly, not only do they do wordplay or rhyme schemes, but as Brandon mentioned earlier, one of the things that I find makes a great rap song is the artist's ability of telling a story. And like I said, we'll come up with a few different examples of this here in just a second. But it's not only what you say or how you say it, it's how you're presenting it, or your presentation of your content. And I think the best hip-hop artists come up with the most creative ways, and not only is it creative, but it's captivating. The audience wants to listen to it. And the fourth and final thing, this is kind of a vague characteristic, but is the song catchy? I mean, this is a basic thing, but as we'll see here in just a second, even with the evolution of pop and even where hip hop is now, with some of these newer artists coming in to play, and you really can't understand a thing that they say, i.e. mumble rap. It all boils down to how catchy is it. So you would look at the hook or the chorus for those more traditional people. You look at the bridge leading up to the hook, and then you also look at the production of the beat. I mean, is it something that you want to listen to again? And that has to go into the designing of a song and an album, and that's what makes the chart. Most of the time, a person can sing along with the song, and honestly, I don't even know if they understand what the words are saying, but they're singing along because it's catchy. Am I missing anything, or quickly, does anything else stand out to you, or do you pretty much agree with me with my list?
I would say that I agree. As you were rattling those reasons off, I was thinking to myself, man, that is a good point. That is a good point. And I think one of the main reasons I'm attracted to hip hop is because of the poetry aspect. Like if you take the lyrics and just look at the lyrics, and not even with the music, just look up the lyrics online or something, it reads like poetry.
Yeah.
The argument could be made that a lot of songs are like that, whether it be country, pop, whatever else. But I just to piggyback off of what you were saying, I do believe that the rhyme scheme and stuff like that is, the only greater thing than hip hop is probably poetry itself, like written poetry. But yeah, I would say I agree with you on that one.
Okay. Brandon, anything else to add?
Yeah, I agree with you too. I think you made valid points on a lot of different aspects. That being said, if hip hop's not your thing, I think everybody does have different tastes, but I don't think you can fully criticize what it is and what it's done until you do listen to it, or at least try to better understand it. But yeah, like I said, I agree with everything that you said. Like I said, I love it for the storytelling, the flow.
Mm-hmm.
It's just fun to listen to.
Oh, if I can add one more thing, for those of you who maybe don't like hip hop and still maybe want to try to ease into it, I don't know. There is something called spoken word poetry, and I would consider it maybe on the outskirts of hip hop. It is poetry, but they do sometimes put that to a beat. But the rhyme schemes and the wordplay, that's really good stuff too. You can get really creative with spoken word poetry, and still and still have pretty clean content depending on who you listen to, I guess. But I just wanted to throw that out there.
Absolutely. And I'll just kind of finish my case before we look at some of the examples of some of these that I picked out. And if you guys know of any others as well, I'll let you interject. I think that hip-hop is the perfect encapsulation, if that's a word. If it's not, I'm making it up right now, of all of these things in the genre itself. There's so much variety, right? So you can pick a slower song if you can't listen to the fast stuff, whether it be in production or even in the artist delivery. And you look at the two different styles, and there's such a variety, there's such a polarization. But also something that I have grown to appreciate so much more is when an artist is creative enough to incorporate different genres. To be honest with you, I don't think that I've seen another example from any other genre that is able to overlap with other genres outside of its own to make a song other than hip-hop, whether it's hip-hop dabbling into pop or I can't think of any country examples, or those genres influencing the hip-hop artist himself and one of his projects. But one that comes to my mind is when Kanye West did a song with Paul McCartney. And it's just stuff like that it's like, are you kidding me? Like, the creative genius it takes to sit down in a studio with those two and to create a song together. Other than that, I've got a few examples here. If you guys got any as well, I'd love to hear them afterwards. But first one, we talked about wordplay. If you are okay with adult content, most of these have adult content within their lyrics, so keep that in mind. A great example of wordplay is on the song called Detroit vs. Everybody. I'm a huge Big Sean fan. Big Sean is one of my favorite artists. I've been rocking with him for a while. His verse on that, I believe it's the third verse, I think. Maybe the second. I think it's the second now that I think about it. He does some excellent wordplay. Let me give you an example. Just to give you an example of some of the wordplay that he uses in this song, it says, welcome to Detroit, where if you get that promotion, don't worry, man, those bullets will still be at you firing. And obviously I'm not Big Sean. I'm not signed to a record label, and I consider my hip-hop talents to be subpar. But go check out that song, see some of the wordplay he uses, and check up on some of the lyrics that he has. The second thing, real quickly, is the rhyme scheme. I would say the greatest example of a hip-hop artist utilizing rhyme scheme is Eminem's Lose Yourself. You don't need me to go and read you the lyrics if you're a hip-hop fan. If you don't know anything about hip-hop and you're checking out this song, the very first verse, it says, yo, his palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy, there's vomit on his sweater already, mom's spaghetti, he's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs, but he keeps on forgetting. And you can tell there just how elaborate the rhyme schemes are. And if you're familiar with that song, you probably continued on and you're not even listening because the song is so catchy itself. The third example I found of the characteristics of hip-hop, the storytelling aspect, one of my favorite songs is, I plugged it in the first episode, maybe the second episode, but it's Lil Dicky. His song is Russell Westbrook on a Farm, and you can find that on YouTube or SoundCloud because he's actually rapping over one of Drake's beats, so he can't put it out on Apple. But he talks about how great he thinks he is and how far he's gone and still how far left he's got to go. And then that's just the first half of the song. The second half of the song is comparing himself to Russell Westbrook in this imaginary situation who grew up on a farm, saying that that Russell Westbrook just happened to stumble across basketball in his adult life and then worked at it and became great even then. And he compares himself to Russell Westbrook, just kind of stumbling upon rap and then working at it and just finding himself being immensely talented in that, which I think he is. Fourth thing, the catchy hooks. If you're a fan of Drake, you will agree with me here. If you're not a fan of Drake, you'll probably get at me at Twitter and you'll tell me that he's not even hip-hop. And, we could have a discussion there. But we can all agree that he makes songs that are catchy. And, when he started back in '08, that's really when he got big, I think. Just the songs that he put out started from the bottom, 0 to 100, Forever, Back to Back, One Dance, etc. He's someone that I consider to be just masterful at creating songs that people want to re-listen to 100 times over. That is, in my opinion, some of the greatest examples of hip-hop and some of the things that I value, some of the things that I see in hip-hop, and those are examples from artists that I listen to each day. So, anything else before we close this topic?
I don't think so. I think you pretty much covered it.
Brandon.
I will say that for those that have never heard of any of these artists, just to say again, these are adult. There's adult content in most of these different artists that Campers mentioned. So keep that in mind if you're driving with your kids or whatnot, and you just start playing this. Don't be surprised if you hear some explicit content or whatnot. Just to give you a warning. I will say that's just one piece of the brand or of the tree of hip hop. That is hip hop. I would recommend artists like KB. I know Cody said earlier that he liked spoken word. Beautiful Eulogy is a really great group to listen to. Just look at all the different aspects of hip hop, and you might find yourself in a spot that you would have never have pictured yourself before. So just keeping that in mind.
Absolutely. So, just to echo what Brandon said, we started off this conversation by, kind of explaining why hip-hop may not be as culturally as accepted as I think it deserves to be. And one of those main reasons is people just don't really want to listen to the language or the content that's being spoken about. I would say that in order to appreciate the genre itself, there may need to be some level of overlooking that if that's something that gets on your nerves. If you can overlook it, then I would ask you to follow what you feel is right, and we're not pressuring you. I'm just saying that hip hop is something that I feel is undervalued in today's society. So that's my topic. Thank you guys for contributing to it. And that concludes our second main topic of this evening's podcast. Moving on into our individual segments. Cody, I believe you had the first one.
Yeah, so in this week's installment of Awkward Cody, I'll just kind of recap the whole week at PT school by saying that it's been awkward all week. Whenever I get around new people I've never met before, I really don't know what to say. I've gotten better at it over the years, but as far as like small talk, stuff like that, still learning. And this can kind of go back. This can kind of go back to Brandon's topic on secrets. Whenever I try to talk to a girl, it's that much harder. Even if it's not even if it's not a girl I'm really interested in, trying to meet her for the first time is really awkward. So that's kind of been my week. Whenever I do get embarrassed, or not necessarily embarrassed, but whenever I get put on the spot or am meeting new people, my face turns red, and I can feel it turn red. And so I'm sure people have noticed that, and I'm just thankful they haven't called me out on it. But there hasn't really been one main instance of me getting into an awkward situation. It's just been kind of a generally awkward week that I hope will get better as we progress in the semester. But yeah, that's all I have to say.
This is something that I can very much relate to. One of the biggest problems I found, Cody, since we're in the same boat on a lot of things here in this department, do you have trouble making eye contact?
But no, I actually feel like I make good eye contact because that's one of the things that was stressed in my public speaking class in high school.
Right.
So, I try to make eye contact with people as much as possible, and I may actually make too much at times, but but I feel like that's a strong point. But besides that, everything else is still very awkward.
See, that's a concern of mine is I don't want to make too much eye contact. So I think the pendulum kind of swings too far. I'd avert the gaze too much.
Right.
And like you, if the girl is attractive, it gets so much worse.
Yes.
But I'm glad that the two of us can relate somewhat on that topic.
That's right, yeah.
Well, cool. Brandon, I believe that you have something for us this week, right?
I do. And I wanted to do the Wonder Woman review, but I have not seen that yet. So I'm going to do something completely random, something that was just a random thought of mine today. I just have a question for you guys. I need help just to see if this is something weird that I may need to stop doing, or if I should just keep going on with it. Either way, I think I'm going to keep going on with it because it's really good. You're probably all wondering what in the world I'm talking about now, so I'll go ahead and relieve you of your wonder. Today I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, except I had honey and banana on it. So that's just part one of this question. Is that acceptable?
There's 4 components in this sandwich?
There's peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter,
Yeah.
jelly,
Yeah.
honey, and banana?
There is.
Does it fall out of the bread when you eat it?
No, it's perfect. Smushy.
You must not put enough jelly on it then, or peanut butter.
I'm a newbie.
I feel like the best peanut butter sandwich is when it falls out of it when you're trying to eat it.
I have had that happen before, but when I did it with all of this stuff together, it did not do that. So I may need to spice it up some. But is that acceptable? Yes or no? Like,
if you're down for it and you like it, I am all for having weird food cravings.
okay. That brings me to
and well, I was going to say yes, that is acceptable because I think I've actually done that before. I think it was a mistake of mine. I wasn't thinking when I was making this sandwich, but I think I have done that. I've put peanut butter, jelly, banana, and honey on a sandwich. But I think that is.
I was really excited.
Totally,
I was really
acceptable.
excited, and that's why I texted Cody after I did it. It's a lot less weird than my old habits were. When I was a kid, I would just put ketchup on bread and eat it, and that's really nasty. But my second question is, Debbie and I did homemade pizzas the other night, and she did what you would think a pizza would look like. It was covered in pepperoni, Canadian bacon, cheese, blah blah blah. Mine was the complete opposite because when we do pizzas, she has one, I do one. We don't like the same stuff. I had no pepperonis. I am done with pepperoni. What I did put on it was bell pepper, green onion, shredded turkey, and
come on
spinach. And spinach.
I say yes to that.
Shredded turkey?
Yeah, shredded turkey.
Like real turkey or the fake sliced stuff that you find at the store?
It was sliced, but it did not taste fake, especially when it was cooked. It wasn't the thick turkey. I may have to try that next time. But I'm
not a big fan of the sliced stuff.
I truly believe that this is my new pizza. The last pizza I had no pepperoni, and it had zucchini and a bunch of other stuff on it, and that was really good too. So I'm just putting a lot more vegetables in it and taking off the pepperoni, because I like pepperoni pizza, but it just got to a point where it just made me feel so bad afterwards because it was so greasy.
Yeah.
That I would feel sick to my stomach after eating it. So this was kind of my solution to the whole thing, and I actually really like it. So.
Oh my gosh!
Says the man who hates horses.
Too greasy.
Oh my gosh!
Obviously, I would feel bad if a horse kicked me. I'm not going to feel bad after.
We're not even going to get into this. We're not even getting into this discussion, Camper. You literally on this podcast, you have said that that you're afraid of horses, that you love Chris Hemsworth's arms. I don't even want to get into it.
Here's what I'm saying. I told you that I'm down with weird cravings of food. I would not try your. If someone prepared it, I would probably try it for me. I would try the your sandwich. I would not try your pizza though. I'm just not a big fan of just raw bell peppers and
Well,
sliced
it's not raw. I
turkey
cook it.
on the same.
I cook all of it. All of it's cooked.
Well, no. So you pre-cook the bell peppers
Yeah,
and then you
I
put it on the
saute.
pizza?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've never heard of anyone doing that, but that sounds like it'd be better. I wouldn't do
DiGiorno
the
had
sliced
actually
turkey, though.
DiGiorno's the one that had zucchini, bell peppers, chopped tomatoes, all that kind of stuff on it. It was really good.
So do you put on your turkey pizza, do you put the pizza sauce on it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no. I can't be down with that. But you do you, though. I'm
Yeah.
not trying it.
We're gonna
No.
get you to try it.
That sounds like it would be better with like a white sauce, maybe?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to try that. I'm a sucker for
I don't
pizza
know.
sauce, though.
Oh, yeah. With pepperoni and cheese.
I'll tell you what, though, if I had black olives, those would have been on
Ooh.
there.
Oh, I'd throw that
That's
on
what,
everything.
that's where you and me agree. And I did have some ranch dressing too.
Ooh, that might be good for the sauce.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
love
know.
me some ranch dressing and some black olives. But anyway,
See,
that was just my questions. If the listeners have any thoughts on that, just let me know.
if you are a fan of strange pizza combinations, I mean, let us know.
And better yet,
I
give us the recipe of your strange pizza, because I will try it.
will not, probably. I'll just hate on it. But do it anyway. Because I want to see how weird you guys are.
That's right, and I will
All
try
right.
it also because I love food.
I think it's
Yes.
I think it's time for my favorite part of this.
Brandon, what's your favorite part of the podcast?
I really, really like What the Freak.
Camper.
I'm actually beginning to dream about what Camper is going to say next.
Really?
Yeah, like I find myself wondering, what is he gonna? Because we don't know. For y'all that are listening, like Cody, Spicy, we don't know what he's gonna say. He leaves it a surprise for all of us. So we're just as shocked
Yeah.
as you are.
Yeah, I actually made the mistake of letting you guys know when I hated on horses, the second episode. You guys knew that already, like leading up to it, and I feel like you had too much time to prepare for that, and I actually didn't get much talking time at all. So I have refused to let you guys in on what I'll be hating on each week. But this week is special. This is something that has come up recently in my life. I have always hated these things, but just recently I had a discussion with my family, my dad, my stepmom, and my little brother about it. One of my little brothers, and they were all opposed to me, and I got the feeling that they thought I was crazy. You guys probably will too. But this week, I am hating on soft shell tacos. I cannot stand soft shell tacos. Let me tell you a little bit about soft shell tacos. A soft shell taco is not even a taco. It's a poor man's burrito. I mean, think about it. You get a flour tortilla, and it's not even a regular sized flour tortilla, which might be in its favor because I don't like the taste of an uncooked flour tortilla unless it's in chip form, and even then they douse it in salt and grease. But just the taste of a raw, I don't even know if it's a raw tortilla, but just a regular tortilla, and then they put the meat and the other things that tacos have in the taco shell, and they fold it up and they wrap it up in their little Taco Bell folder or their wrapping paper, and then they give it to you, and you open it up and it's all messy. The flour tortilla is unfolded.
That's
the
the
meat
best
is
part.
everywhere. No. If you have to give me a fork to eat my taco, that is not a taco.
Well, God gave you forks. It's called left hand and right hand. So be a man.
Okay, let me tell you a little bit about how to eat a taco. If you eat a taco and it is not messy, like all over your face messy, I feel like you get that with a hard shell taco. then you're not eating a taco, right? So people who eat soft shell tacos, I think, live a wimpy and sheltered, protected life.
Oh
I-
my gosh.
I just don't like when it's not coming unfolded in the wrapper. It's a burrito, and when you eat it, I mean, you just take a little napkin and you just, dab your lips and wipe the little bit of mess that you have. That's not a man taco. That's not
Oh
even
my
a
gosh.
taco at all. That's for
can't-
women. That not even that. I'm sorry, women. I don't mean to offend you. That is for old people. You want to know why it's for old people?
Oh, now
Because
you're
there's no
attacking the
variety
geriatric community.
in texture. You didn't even listen to my argument. That is for old people because old people eat food that have no variety in texture. You know what does have variety in texture? Hard shell tacos.
Okay, all right.
Let
I'm
me-
about to go.
Let me say this real quick before you get to interject. How do you put your sauce on soft shell tacos?
Hold on. I mean, I'll get to that. I'm
No,
about
right
to
now.
go. No,
Right
no. I'm about to go Stephen A. Smith on you, dude.
For
Cody.
the record, he is
Cody-
refusing to answer my question.
Cody Lewis.
Yeah.
This man just said that I was a woman for the way that I ate my pizza.
Right.
And he is refusing to eat a soft shell taco.
Yeah,
Do you like eating
I don't-
chips? Hey,
I
Camper.
don't remember
Camper,
going on the record for saying you were a woman for the way you ate your pizza.
Okay, well, you
the
said something
women-
ridiculous. You
the-
said something ridiculous.
I would say
hold
that
on,
if someone
hold-
used a
hold
fork
on.
to eat their pizza.
Okay, all right.
No,
well, I didn't- I
Wait,
don't
wait,
do
wait,
that.
wait. Whenever Brandon was talking about what he puts on his pizza, I do believe you called him a woman.
You did.
If I
remember
did,
that. And you're not
If
cutting
it's in
that
the
out.
recording, it's in the recording. I don't recall
Okay.
it though. So
Okay, well,
I'm
let me
gonna plead
finish.
the fifth.
Let me finish. Do you like having pieces of hard shell taco pierce the top of the roof of your mouth? That's just one question.
Do you not know how to chew?
Are you just obsessed with chips?
Can you have you never eaten nachos?
Yes, I've eaten nachos. I love nachos when they're nachos.
I feel like I feel like Sam could eat nachos and not tear up the roof of his mouth.
Well, you'd be wrong. So most kids
Same
actually
thing applies to
do
hard shell
actually do
tacos.
that. Well, I don't think I agree. Last week, man, we agreed. It was a lot of fun. It's not happening this week. I think you're
This week you're wrong.
absolutely
I mean,
no. You're wrong.
you just got to accept
You're
it.
ridiculous. No. You, in your opinion, people who eat soft shell. Look at you. You got me all mad now. Soft shell tacos. They're not men. If a guy eats a soft shell taco, he's not a man. Is that what you're saying?
Okay, so you're going to center around this thing, the thing that I corrected when I made my argument. I do feel that a man should be required to eat a hard shell taco.
Oh my gosh.
But
Well,
if women also want to enjoy hard shell tacos, this is America. They can't.
Well, this is also coming from the man that can't keep eye contact with a woman. So
I can, just not for very long.
he's like a little turtle. He just goes into a shell.
You're gonna, you figured out that you're wrong, and you don't know how to accept it,
No,
so you're
I
attacking my
know it.
character.
No, I know it. You like taco shells because you crawl into your little shell when you're around women. I've got it now. I'm done.
Wow,
Mic drop.
That's a reach.
I have.
But thank you
I
for
have
attacking my
figured-
character.
I,
You still haven't given me a desire to eat the poor man's burrito, aka the soft shell taco.
okay, well, we're just gonna agree to disagree.
Cody,
I'm right.
explain to me how irrational you are.
Well, okay, I think I can do that actually. First off, I'm actually not a big fan of Mexican food in general.
Fair enough.
So
I can agree with you on that.
so like when it comes to
Yeah.
tacos and stuff, I'm really not a fan because in my opinion, like what's inside a taco, beef, chicken, I can eat that, not inside of a hard shell or a soft shell. But I have in the past eaten hard shell tacos and soft shell tacos, and I enjoy them both. I don't discriminate based on
I will say this.
the texture of the shell.
I will say this, Camper. Every time, or at least the past few times Debbie and I have made tacos, I don't use a soft shell or a hard shell. I actually do a nacho type thing and use Doritos, Cool Ranch Doritos. as my like little nacho thing. So
I can respect
I'm only defending the people who do use soft shells, because for a while I did use wheat soft shell. I mean, the soft shells for eating it. But since I've been introduced to the Cool Ranch nacho basket, I ain't going back.
Okay, that's kind of interesting and not applicable to this topic, but thank you. Your points, both of yours, are taken. I think that you think that I'm irrational and crazy. That's what people always say of geniuses. So
I really
that
wish
tells you how
Jake
I think
Lee
of
was
myself.
here. I really wish
Jake
Lee
Lee.
was
Jake Lee agrees with me. I'm going to put this on the record. I believe he agrees with me, and the reason I know that is because Ashlyn, his fiance, was Team Soft Shell until we had an argument about it one day, and Jake was on my side, and then her family had taco night, or not that night, but the next night they had taco night. She tried the hard shell, and I think she told me that now all she wants to eat is hard shell, and I'm not making that up, but Ashlyn, if you're listening to this, shout us out on Facebook, on Twitter. Tell us that you are Team Hard Shell now.
I will say this: if they came up with a Cool Ranch hard shell that's not, I don't have to go to stupid Taco Bell to go get. But if they came up with a Cool Ranch Dorito hard shell, I would be completely sold on the hard shell taco.
Interesting. The one at Taco Bell is okay. I like the nacho cheese one. I don't go there that often though. I like you. I'm not a huge fan of Mexican.
I don't enjoy
but
getting
I like
the
that
stomach
more
virus.
than Taco Bell itself. But
Yeah.
even more than that, I hate soft shell tacos more than I hate Taco Bell.
Oh no, man! If I want to go get the stomach virus, I'll just go in my car and drive to stupid Taco Bell.
Right. Well, I mean, that's all I got to say. And I just wanted the world to know that if you want a burrito, guess what? Order a burrito. There is so much variety that comes in burritos. You can get rice, you can get refried beans, you can get the first time beans that aren't refried, that are regular. You can get various kinds of avocado or sour cream or whatever. You can get all that in a burrito, and they call it a burrito. I'm not a fan of all that stuff because I like hard shell tacos. You can't fit all that. You only have room for the necessities in a hard shell, and you have room to put the sauce on. So if you are Team Hard Shell, shout out. I mean, we need you to step up. I understand that we are a minority and that we are drowned out by the voices of the irrational, and I just want us to be represented. So that's all I got to say. I don't even want to keep talking about this because you guys are just going to prove how right I am and how irrational you are.
I'm pretty sure we've already established that you're halfway right.
Yeah, I would say that.
That I would say that I'm 100% right.
Well,
everybody's entitled to his own opinion.
I feel like the proof is in the pudding. It is in the recording. They can go back and see the arguments that I listed.
I thought we were talking about tacos.
See, pudding does not go on tacos, but if it goes on tacos, I feel like they would put it in a soft shell taco because pudding is what old people eat.
I had pudding today, actually.
You would. To be fair, I do like pudding. I can't remember the last time I had pudding, but I know it was chocolate because only old people like vanilla pudding, and probably Cody was like, "Oh,
I agree with you.
I had vanilla pudding."
I like vanilla pudding.
Who eats vanilla pudding? Do they still make vanilla pudding?
Of course.
Do they even make vanilla pudding?
Of course they make vanilla pudding.
Who likes it?
That's disgusting.
If you
might
like
as well
pudding,
have banana pudding.
if you like soft shell tacos and you like vanilla pudding in your soft shell tacos, let us know. I'm done talking about this.
I may try that.
You guys have anything else to add? I feel like there's room for a dessert taco, and vanilla pudding would be pretty good in there.
Right.
I feel like this should be a main topic one day.
Yeah. And I just want to add real quick that out of all of the What the Freak installments, I don't think I've agreed with you yet, Camper.
That is the purpose. The purpose is to bring truth to those who listen. To be honest with you, this is one of the only reasons why I decided to make this podcast with you and be a part of this idea is, that's a platform for me to speak truth into these people's lives and to make their lives better.
Oh, right,
and
right.
If you haven't agreed with me, you're only proving my point that you're You're just stuck in your way.
I definitely agreed with you last week. And like I said, I do halfway agree with you this week.
Well, if you're not fully on board, then you are not on board. So,
Well, good luck finding anybody on board.
I'm not on board.
if you're Team Hardshell and you are absolutely opposed to Team Softshell, let us know.
Well, hold on real quick. One more thing. If they're why limit it to just being Team Hardshell? If you've agreed with everything that Camper has said, then make that known, and we'll see just how rational you are.
See, this is how I'm gonna find a nice girl. Is someone who listens to the show and agrees with all of the what the freaks.
And she doesn't
Although
speak English.
Yeah.
I think if that happens, I don't think we'd be a good fit. I think we'd agree with each other too much. I think there's got to be some level of disagreement there. But
You
I
want
might be
somebody
wrong.
to argue with.
Yeah, I don't have much experience to go by, much research. But yeah, that rounds out our individual segments, and in doing so, that is bringing our show to a close. This one's been fun. I don't know about you guys, but this one has been super fun. Can't wait for you guys to listen to it. We want to hear from you. What is your favorite segment from this week? What is your favorite conversation? Do you agree with what we said? Do you disagree with what Brandon and Cody said? And you agree with me 100%? We want to hear from you. But finishing out the show, this is our time where we like to plug in some things that have we've come across in the past week or even in the recent past that we want to tell you guys about. Cody, I believe you're up with the first plug.
Yeah. So again, I've harped on this for the past few weeks now, but starting PT school, I can see that index cards are going to be my friend. Learning different muscles and whatnot. So I want to plug index cards. Thank you, index cards.
Okay. I mean, I like that plug. I always tell myself I'm going to use a lot of index cards each semester, but I never end up doing it. But I do know that a lot of people use them to learn a lot of stuff. So, Brandon, you've got the next plug.
Yeah, I got a plug and a shout out. The plug this week is the Wonder Woman movie. If you haven't gone to see it, please do that. The Rotten Tomatoes website, which is a popular critic site, has given it a 94%, which is one of the highest movies since The Dark Knight. So definitely, if you have not yet seen that, go see it. I'm definitely going to go see it soon. And my shout out real quick is to Georgia Donor. She has been photoshopping each episode something special that we've talked about. So she puts a lot of hard work into it, and they're really, really funny. So just shout out to Georgia.
Sweet. As far as my plug is concerned, if you're listening to this from outside of Butte, Montana, you might not be familiar with what we have dubbed the pork chop sandwich. The pork chop sandwich is something that's native to Butte, and it is amazing. Essentially, it's a hamburger that is made out of pork chop, and they put it on some bread, obviously, and put some pretty good fries next to it. But haven't had it yet. Looking forward to having it early next week. So try that out if you ever come to Butte. But that actually rounds out our show. I believe that we have a few details left before we let you guys go. Cody, what do you have for the people?
Yeah, so if you have been listening to us and you want to follow us on social media, you can do that on Facebook. Just type in the Squad Life podcast. Go ahead and like that page. You can follow us on Twitter at _Squad Life. And those are two very good platforms you can use to drop comments in there about each episode, just like Camper was asking for. Go ahead and leave a comment. And if you want to see some more of our media that we have, go ahead and check out squadforlife.com. That is our website. We post these podcasts to that website. We also have blogs that will be up every week. And we also have a link to some t-shirts, and I believe someone will talk about that.
Yeah, speaking of t-shirts, Brandon, I think you actually got the t-shirts.
Yeah, good morning. It's Tuesday. Not really, it's actually Friday, but you're listening to this on Tuesday, which means that our shirt campaign has ended, ... or did it. We are going to extend the two designs for a little while longer. So if you have not yet got your hands on one of the swagalicious designs that we've put out, please do that. And we want to say thank you for all who have supported us by purchasing a shirt or donation. We are planning to put that money right back into producing more merch for you, the listener. So thank you.
Awesome. And to round off our details for you, each week what we do is we pick our favorite review that you have given us, our listeners, our friends, our family, whoever gives us a review. We read our favorite each week. This week is coming from Matthew Powers. He titled it Great Podcast, and he wrote, very funny and interesting podcast. Great group of guys. Can't wait to see where this goes. Something that Matt might be confused about. This is a podcast. It's just audio. There is no video, so it's hard to see where this goes. But to be serious, I'm very much with Matt, and I think the rest of the squad can agree with me here that we do have a vision for all of this, and to be honest with you, it's not just a podcast. However, that's the extent of our reach now, so that's what we're focused on. We're focused on making a great podcast and, making something that you guys enjoy listening to. If you do enjoy listening to it, you can be like Matt, leave a review. If you find it funny, if you listen to it and you like the content, go ahead and give us an honest 5-star review, and I'm sure that we'll get to reading your comment when that time comes. But that's all that we have for the show. Do you guys have anything else to say, or are we gonna go ahead and close it?
I think that about wraps it up.
So that about wraps up this week's episode of the Squad Life Podcast. Thank you guys for listening. Tune in next week and follow us on Facebook. Keep up with our announcements. But we're signing off this week. It's been fun. It's been real. And it sure has been real fun. See you in the next episode.
Hey, Spicy, go ahead and hit him with a sign off.
See you.